Away from Bernard Akede, well, Aliko Dangote is in the news. Well, the chairman of Dangote Group announced that the price of petrol from his refinery will be set by the Federal Executive Council led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Speaking at a briefing in Lagos, Dangote said the pricing would be finalized soon after discussions with the NNPC. Dangote emphasized that petrol from his refinery would match the quality of any product globally. An official announcement on the supply timeline is expected after a meeting with the NNPC. According to Dangote, if all goes as planned, petrol from the refinery could reach filling stations within the next 48 hours, depending on NNPC's actions. Well, to discuss this with me, I'm being joined by oil and gas expert Suraj Oyewale, director of Fortrose Consulting. He joins me from Casablanca in Morocco. Thank you so much for buying out time to speak with us. Now, how will the Federal Executive Council's decision to set the price of petrol from Dangote's refinery impact the overall petrol market in Nigeria? Do you think it will lead to more government control or it will foster a more competitive environment? What's your thought?
Good morning. How are you? Hope you are good. Yeah, happy to join you. I think it's an anomaly to have a situation in which the government is still fixing the price after we thought that the coming on board of a major investor, the private sector investor, is going to make things move towards the competitive free market situation. So that's quite an abnormality, hearing that the price will still be fixed by the government, and we never expected that when we were doing analysis for how things will pan out when Dangote comes on board, Dangote Refinery comes on board. But I think we should not forget the fact that what's most important at this critical time is some sort of supply security. Pricing, yeah, is very, very important. But having, it is what you see in the market we price. It's what you see in the market that you buy. So I think governments have, in all fairness to them, been quite reasonable from their own hand as well. To Dangote, don't forget the fact that Dangote himself said that he got some concession about being supplied crude oil in Naira. So that's some big concession made by the government to Dangote Refinery, just to make sure that things work out for it, because we'll have needed a lot of dollars to buy if we wanted to do that doing using the normal provisions of the petroleum, the normal currency of the oil and gas transaction, which is dollar. So getting that concession is, something that really helped Dangote. So I'm not entirely surprised that the government is coming back to say that, okay, we want something in return for that. We want to, having given some such concession, then, you also expected to let us have input in pricing, because the government interest, I want to believe, is the fact that, supply security at this time, like, you just need foreigners in the market. So if, and of course, they probably know that if everything goes, if all the pricing follow the standard private sector pricing, I'm sure that private investment pricing rather, and that's going to be some maybe a much higher cost than what we have at the moment. And that's why I want to believe that government is wanting to have some input in the situation of fixing the price. Not exactly the ideal situation in a competitive market situation, but sometimes you give some of these governments give some of these leverages and interventions to be able to in their own thinking alleviate the suffering of the masses.
All right.
So it's not exactly something that is strange.
Okay. Earlier this morning, we had spoken to IPMAN spokesperson who said that the petroleum marketers are a bit worried with the fact that NNPC will be the sole buyer of the Dangote refinery, especially from the Dangote refinery. So they're worried. What are your thoughts on the petroleum marketers, the pricing being regulated by the NNPCL, and of course, its impact on Nigerians?
Okay, I don't think it's entirely also out of place to have NNPC as the sole of taker in the immediate terms, and in the short term. I want to believe it becomes a problem when this becomes the norm after weeks, after months, years, or something. For start, you start with the pilot phase. NNPC is, it's easier for Dangote to work with NNPC much more than the private, retailers. NNPC has a network. They have the distribution facility. They are much easier to engage. Okay, even though they can be problematic, but they're much easier to engage from the standpoint of government, and also the government, the representative government, the oil and gas value chain. So I don't think that's exactly something that is much to worry about. Even though there will be concerns about the efficiency of Dangote, of the NNPC retailing business, but I don't think it's entirely bad because they are ultimately the supplier of last resort, of the fuel to the market. So they are people that government can hold accountable if things go wrong, even though they are government themselves. But I think it's not entirely out of place to have them as the. I won't worry myself so much having NNPC as the sole uptaker of these products in the immediate time, because it's much easier. Businesses, having to deal with a lot of marketers, private, who are probably do not have the network, the distribution network of NNPC, is going to be problematic in the short run. So having them in the short run is not an issue. The issue might arise when we begin to talk about they not being able to bring the product to the market, having some inefficiencies and all of that. But I don't think that's big cause for worry. If they've been the only they have always been the only supplier anyway, the only importer anyway. So they being the off-taker from Dangote in the immediate time is not something that I would worry myself over. For too much.
All right. Thank you so much, oil and gas expert Suraj Oyewale, for joining us to look into that particular story.
You're welcome. Right.